Alright, how's it going, everyone? I'm starting up a MLB The Show 20 franchise. I figured in celebration of spring training starting up here pretty soon, doing a nice franchise on the Show 20. Um, I was just going to do a fantasy draft just to make things a little bit more interesting. Um, since MLB The Show 21 isn't coming out until April, this is all we have for right now. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Angels because they have a pretty decent sized budget, which gives you more room to work with stuff. And uh, so I'll be going with the Angels. So we'll go with that. Turn off GM contracts. Turn on the fantasy draft. I also I downloaded a roster with like it was the updated moves from the off season, which obviously won't affect this because it's a fantasy draft. But it also does have a lot of minor league players, which in my short time of looking through the roster, most of the minor league players look to have at least decent, be decently rated for what they are. So I figured it was a pretty good roster to go ahead and do, and it makes it a little bit more interesting for uh, improving the team and everything, having real life prospects in there. So I'm also going to turn the DH on because let's be honest, we all know that the DH is coming to the NL as well. And I'll be completely honest, I was totally against it when it was first talked about, but after last year, it's just so much better watching nine players that can hit rather than just have to be like, oh, pitcher's a free out. So we'll turn the DH on, and let's see. It looks like we got the fourth overall pick. So let's see. Uh, I was just gonna let the CPU draft for me. So let's see what the CPU drafts for me. We got Tatis Jr. That's exciting. So I was originally planning on doing the scouting, but I feel like it just takes up too much time, and everything I do would all be right around the scouting, and that's not as fun to watch. So I'm gonna just let the computer go ahead and scout, and hopefully I can take whatever they scout and pick decently good people, and everything else I'll do manually. So that's good. We'll just start in the regular season. So let's take a look at the squad that we got. We'll just go through position by position. So Corbin Burns is our ace. Pablo Lopez. Okay. Johnny Cueto. Miles Michaelis. Looks like we got a few guys that are all. Madison Bumgarner. He had a tough season last season, but he should be better. But it's interesting that they put these three all in AAA. I I appear to have a lot of starting pitchers, so I may be dealing from there to fill in other spots because that's a lot of MLB ready pitchers that I do not need. And I'm probably going to get rid of Bumgarner because he's probably just going to get worse, and that's a very big contract for me to hold on to for no reason. I'll try to keep the trades somewhat realistic so that I'm not doing something like stupid where I'm giving up a not so great person for like a top prospect or like for someone like Mike Trout, like because obviously no one's gonna trade him away. It looks like the bullpen's not too good, so maybe I'll look to trade some starting pitchers for a bullpen piece. James McCann, really good hitter, decent fielder. Honestly, it's a pretty good pick. Wow, apparently it drafted me a ton of catchers. I have 10 catchers on the roster. Okay, we got Pete Alonso. I'm a fan. Nick Madrigal. I believe he was the second base prospect for the White Sox, and he may have played this last shortened season last year, but his tools are really good for someone just 22, and I will definitely take that. We have Matt Carpenter at third base. I'm a Cardinals fan, so it's tough to remind me that we have Matt Carpenter. But hey, we went out and got Nolan Arenado, so Matt Carpenter isn't our starting third baseman. Makes the team much better. So maybe we'll look to trade for a third baseman because that's not really what you want from your third baseman, those stats. And then there we go. Our number one pick that we got was Tatis Jr., and he's probably going to be like a 99 in a couple of years. So, and I have him for what? 1, 2, 3, 4 years. So that's good. Aledmys Diaz, former Cardinal. That's a pretty solid backup, I would say. And a pretty young prospect that is pretty highly rated already. So I don't know if I've ever heard this guy or not. But that's still pretty solid. JD Martinez. So that's most likely going to be my DH. Have him for 2 years, so yeah. Not a very good left field. Not very good center field. I mean, we have 2 A prospects. Man, what the heck is this draft? Hey, Teoscar Hernandez, that's good. So, I don't know. The team seems pretty average, if you ask me. And I don't have much to get rid of. I can probably get rid of a left fielder. I would like to get a better center fielder. Definitely better third baseman. I can't complain. I mean, James McCann, Pete Alonso, Madrigal, Tatis. That's pretty solid. I just need some outfielders. And maybe some relief pitchers. Okay. So let's go ahead and just take a look at a trade that we can make. So, I mean, honestly, I think Brady Singer is pretty good. He's probably going to be my 5th starter. I honestly might hold on to Derek Rodriguez and make him a long reliever. But get rid of at least Bumgarner and Godley. I mean, I don't know a great player I can get. What do I want? A third baseman? It's going to be really hard to get rid of that contract. That's all I know. Hey, Nolan Gorman. Cardinals prospect. Kyle Seager. No, because he's so much better than him. Eduardo Escobar is really not much better. Tommy La Stella. I mean, I know he's not the best, but that's someone I could probably get with his contract. Man, this is going to be really hard to get rid of him. I would love Brian Hayes. I don't know. No one would ever give him up, though. So I obviously can't do that. Longoria, I don't know. He's not good enough to justify. Man, this is tough. There are not a lot of great. Jeimer Candelario, maybe? He's just probably too highly rated to get. Rugnetodor is trash. I don't even want him. Man, this is not looking good in the third baseman department. Yeah, I already went through everything. Let's see if I can find someone that has way too big of a contract that I can try to make this trade happen. I'm gonna have to give up. I mean, I'll give up Taiwan Walker. Let's see. Don't have much prospect-wise. I mean, this solves my outfielder problem. And third base problem. That's not who I want to look at. Honestly, Michael Franco is pretty solid too. I feel like I should be giving them like a pretty solid prospect though in return. I mean, I think 70 overall, 24 years old, B potential. I don't have much else better to give. This would make the trade way swing in their favor. I mean, I could give them Zimmer because he's like a proven outfielder. And I wouldn't technically call that proven, but I think giving this guy up is somewhat realistic. So we'll go ahead and make that trade. So that solves my third base problem and my outfield problem. I honestly think I'll just be okay with him being center and holding it up until one of my prospects is able to in a couple of years. And I'm not going to mess too much with getting rid of other people. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just moving him to AAA. Sorry, Zach Godley. I know you were nasty a couple of years ago, but I'm gonna pass, and I'll have Derek Rodriguez in the bullpen. So that leaves one too many people. I'll send him down. So that gives me 13 pitchers, and then I need to get rid of 2 position players. I think I'm gonna let him develop a little bit more in AAA. I think Aledmys Diaz is fine to have, and probably, I know he's a little bit better of an outfielder defense-wise, but I think another left-handed bat off the bench is better, so I'm gonna send Andrioli down. So that sets up the lineup. Let me just set the lineup. Let's see, is it worth it to have Martinez? No. Grichuk. Third base, make him DH. And put Franco in. So, the question is, who's my 2-hole hitter? I don't really have one. Split the left-handed bats there. I don't really want to make Franco my second hitter. You know, I'll put Randall there. I was a big Randall Grichuk fan when he was on the Cardinals. It's just tough because like you could just see all the potential in him, but he just barely couldn't get there. And you would have loved to see that. But I mean, he's still turned himself into a really solid MLB player, so I don't think anyone's complaining. Okay. So there's that setup. That. JD Martinez DHing against lefties. We're paying him way too much money to only DH against lefties, but I don't know. Okay, so I guess I'll throw these guys on here. This really doesn't matter, but I think it affects morale, so I'm just going to put them on there. Okay, so there's that. Put Brady Singer as my fifth. Derek Rodriguez. Brashear's down here. I could have Gallegos close out games for me, and I think I'm going to. He was so good last year and the year before. Kind of underrated trade that the Cardinals made. I know a lot of people will say, well, Luke Voit turned into an amazing hitter, but I mean, Gio Gallegos is huge, and Voit was never going to get the opportunity that he got at the Yankees, so it was definitely a win-win trade for everyone. So let's just take a look at everything. I'll set the trade block. Throw him on there. Throw him on there. Pete Cosma. I'll throw Andreoli on there. Okay. So, with that, we are the 6th overall best team in the league. Defense not too great, so we'll see how the pitching turns out, because our pitching also isn't that great either. So, looks like we're just going to be here to hit dingers. So, I think I'm just going to go ahead and probably simulate a month at a time and just check stats and see. Shit, I forgot to turn off. That's really unfortunate. I forgot to change the sliders to decrease injuries. I think that injuries in MLB The Show are awful. Like, they just have so many people get injured and have like very serious injuries. So I'm gonna turn this slider all the way down. And now I have to deal with oh, I also forgot to snag better scouts, so I'm gonna do that really quick as well. Basically, I'm just looking at, you want discovery is probably like the #1 thing. These are all like randomly generated, so it's just luck kind of sometimes. And then I'm also probably gonna change all the coaching staff as well besides Joe Madden, because that can really affect like morale and everything too, and you get these small boosts in stats, so I might as well when I have the money. I have no idea what I just did. Hold up. I think I may have just accidentally gotten rid of my hitting coach that I just signed, so that's unfortunate. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's first base, and now third. Keep on doing that on accident. Why do I keep on getting rid of my hitting coach? I don't know what I'm messing up so badly. There we go. It's kind of cringe that I just keep on screwing this up repeatedly. I'm pretty sure I've just like thrown away millions of dollars doing that, but whatever. There we go. So now if we look, we have A's across the board, and that can definitely help out with the morale of players and helps them just develop and everything better. So it's really unfortunate that Teoscar Hernandez got hurt. So I'm gonna have to look into calling. I'll call Andrioli up to replace that. But that's literally my 4-hitter. I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with this for now. Yeah. Really unfortunate, but oh well. I don't have anyone good to fill in right here. I'll just give Andrioli and change that out. Okay, so there we go. So now that I've turned down the sliders, hopefully I don't have to deal with that crap anymore. It's super annoying. Okay, now what I was saying was I'll just sim through a month at a time and probably just do a complete season every time and just kind of go from there. Every time I check for the month, I'm just gonna double check some stats just to make sure that people are at least playing okay and see if there's anyone that may benefit from being on the bench a little bit more. Of course, Cueto's pitching horribly. Yeah, if Cueto's still pitching this bad next month, I'll probably look into bringing up Godley. Also should probably take Madrigal out of the leadoff spot if he's going to hit that poorly. Problem is, I don't have a good leadoff person. Everyone is just not hitting well. I'm just gonna hit Carpenter leadoff because I don't know what else to do. Like, what am I supposed to do with this, man? Andrioli's hitting like garbage. I know he only has 30 at bats, but still, like, man, I don't know. This is pretty horrible. Actually, he's gonna have to stick it out against lefties. Man, literally everyone is pitching horribly. This is tough. I mean, I guess good news is that we're only 14 and 17 and can maybe turn it around. Okay, let's see. We definitely caught back up, so that's good. Tatis is hitting way better. Burns still at 5. Alonso's still tearing it up. He's still pitching well, hitting well, pitching well, hitting okay, pitching okay. Okay. Cueto brought it down to 5-7, so I'll keep him for right now. Unless Godley's pitching lights out, he's not. Honestly, I could probably just switch out Godley and Rodriguez. I think I might do that. Let's see how many. Yeah, we haven't used one. Okay. Also, this guy's pitching really well in AAA, so I think I'm just gonna send him down, call him up. Archie Bradley's pitching horribly. I'm glad I didn't put him to close. Madrigal's hitting much better now. Carpenter's still hitting decent too, which is kind of weird to see. Tatis hitting really well. Man, it's really unfortunate that he's out basically the entire season. Okay, so I think we're pretty close to draft day, yeah. So I'll just sim through until then. And we'll do the draft, sim through to the end of the season, see if we make the playoffs, then go from there. So whenever I'm looking at drafting people, I personally try to look and see if their stats are pretty good. Like their current stats are at least decent, and then the scouted stats are also good on top of that, just to get an idea of if they're actually good. So if they're like 55, 60s for most of their stats like this, I would say that they're probably a pretty solid player versus someone who can have like 80 potential but have really bad looking stats. I'll see if I can find an example of that. Yeah, so like this person has 80 potential, so you like think, oh, they're gonna be good, but when you like look at it a little bit closer, like they're below average hitting currently. Like they're probably not gonna turn into anything all that great. So I at least try to have decent idea of what they look like. So I think I have plenty of starting pitchers. I could look at relievers. Don't really need a catcher. Don't need first base. Don't need second. Third, I could definitely use it. Actually, well, I mean, I have the prospect, Beatty. So don't need it right now. Definitely don't need short. Could definitely use an outfielder, though. So I think I'm just going to take a look through some of the top outfielders. See, like this guy, like he already has like well above average contact, average to above average plate discipline and whatnot, so you can tell that he's at least already a good hitter and he's most likely just going to get better. This guy, kind of the same, not nearly as good, but still pretty much average to above average in every category, so I think I might consider drafting him. It's obviously a lot more accurate too when you have the people scouted, so who is it, this guy? Andreas Cabrera is probably who I'm going to end up picking unless someone else looks like they're way better. These all look pretty solid, but nothing really stands out. Okay, not the best of left fielders. This guy might be really good too. Brett Lucas. See, here's a good example. Like, this guy has decently high stats, and it says he has 80 potential, but, like, none of his stats are even average currently, so I try to stay away from that. Same with that person. Same with that person. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with this guy. Okay, so that's only round 1. I think I don't even have a round 2 pick. I don't get anything until round 3. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if... Man. That's tough. That basically just got rid of a ton of people. I don't really need a third baseman. I'm just looking. This guy might be really good. Looks like a really good hitter. I'll just keep an eye on him. Who is that? Everett Engel. Let's see. Any good looking first baseman? Nope. See, that's why I like scouting. It's just so hit or miss. Like, this guy probably has great velocity and everything, but he's probably not nearly as good as what it actually says. I also like to look at their pitch mix just to get an idea of like what they could be solid with. I'm just gonna give this guy a chance. I don't know. I feel like I can't find anything else that looks like stands out that well. I should probably pick the guy that I... Oh, nope, he got drafted. Unfortunate. Because none of those guys look good. That guy doesn't look good. Nope. No, no. Maybe. No. That's kind of impressive. I'll pick this guy. See, that just stats don't look that great. No, no. I'll pick this guy. Like I said, it just really feels like a crapshoot sometimes with picks. I went very outfielder heavy for this draft, but we'll see if it paid off. So, let's see. Not really. My first pick was good. Besides that, whole lot of not that great. So that's unfortunate. Like I said, it really feels like the draft can be hit or miss sometimes, depending on how well the scouts scouted people and everything. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't see anything that looked that great in general. Let's see. Apparently Madrigal and Alonso were in for All-Stars, so... See, even with my, like, technically my worst player on my team being the 21st overall second baseman, performing like an all-star, like we're nowhere near first place, so that's really tough. Let's see if they turn it around in the second half. He's still out for 1 to 2 weeks. Hey, we get him back in a couple weeks, so that's exciting. There we go. So we will send Andreoli back down. Didn't play too great anyways. And make sure that we set the lineup back so that it looks pretty good. Put him there. I'm gonna put Madrigal back at leadoff since he's hitting much better now. Grichuk there. Switch him out right there. He's not as good against lefties, so I'll leave him there, I guess. Okay. Alright, let's see how we do with one of our best players back. We just railed off like 5 wins in a row, so that's pretty good. Alright, that was a really solid month, and we're up to 52 and 37. We'll see if... I'm not going to look for any more trades. I have those people on the trade block. One of my players was selected for the home run derby. I'm going to guess it's Pete Alonso. Just a wild guess. If anyone offers a decent trade, I'll consider it. Definitely not giving up my top pitcher for freaking Jose Iglesias. I don't know what they think they're offering there. I mean, Mitch Haniger is someone who always turns out to be pretty solid throughout the years, but I'm not going to give up Corbin Burns for that. He's 91 overall. So, oops. Just keep simming away. Here's one that might be interesting. Nah, not worth it. They really want to see if I want someone. Why do they want Corbin Burns so bad? I'm not giving him up that easily. No, I would not like to stop, because now people will stop. Are you kidding me? Arouse.
Hello there, baseball fans. Let's recap what went down around the league on Monday. Starting out west in the American League, the Texas Rangers put together 10 total hits as they pulled off the win against the Angels in Orange County, 5-4.
He's just a
Cesar Hernandez was out of his mind with
minor
3
leaguer,
home runs
so
and 7 driven in as the Mariners downed the A's
for some reason,
11-4. He is currently among the AL leaders in batting average. Jordan Romano grabbed the victory, his 4th of the year, as Tampa Bay
September call-ups, because it makes us have a roster of 28. Keep active. See, even with injury sliders turned all the way down, like, there's still people getting injured. Like, that guy broke his fingers out for 2 months. Like, do I really want that to happen to one of my best players? Like, the chance of that, because that's what happens. So, we'll probably look to call up another pitcher. Unless there's someone who's really sticking out. I'm probably going to go with Rodriguez again. Yeah. And then call up a bench player. Anyone been performing really well? Or do I just bring Andrioli back up? I'll just bring him back up. And keep Simmons. Let's see. We're still 8 games behind the Astros, but we still have a really solid... We're 18... Sorry, that's not math. That's not how math works. We're 16 games above 500 right now, so we should easily make the playoffs. Especially as we rattle off 5 more wins in a row. Yeah, we finished with 96 wins. Make the wild card. Let's see how everyone did. Pete Alonso led the league in walks.
Playoff contending teams are making their
of
final
course,
push
Trout
to the
was
end of the
top
year.
4.
Welcome to Inside the Show.
I had
Starting in
Tatis
the
and
AL
Alonso
West,
both
the Astros
go
got
off.
11 hits
Alonso
overall
at
as they
49
destroyed the
home
Angels
runs.
8-1.
See,
At the start of the day,
Tatis went
the
from a
Astros
91
are
to
in
a
first
98
place
overall
in the AL West, one
in
game
one
ahead
season,
of second.
so
And the Angels are second in the division, but they currently
McCann
lead the
had an
AL
incredible
wildcard
season
race.
too. Do I get?
And that's all we've
I
got
have
for
him
now.
for 4
Lots
more
of
years.
exciting
Wow,
pennant chase action coming your way
that's
later
really nice.
today. Tune in tomorrow for a full recap.
And next beyond that was Franco, who we traded for, so that was a pretty solid trade. Pitching wise, Pablo Lopez, Corbin Burns didn't even land in the top 10. He had a 4 ERA. Still can't complain. Michaelis pitched decently well. I mean, 200 innings, 3.5 ERA, that's pretty solid. And Cueto honestly pitched really well. I thought I was going to have to give up on him in the middle of the season, but I'm not going to complain about a 4.26 ERA. And guess what? He's off the books after this year, so... And we missed first by 1 game. That's tough. That's okay, though. So... we'll look to... go into the playoffs and see if we can get a nice push. So... the 1 game, Walker Buehler versus Corbin Burns. That's tough. Walker Buehler's really good pitcher in the playoffs in real life. Let's see. Oh, dang. So, we end that. We end the season losing in the wild card. I'm pretty happy with where the team is. Got a decent amount of people. We can take a look at... let's see. Jake Arrieta, Dexter Fowler,
welcome to
Adam
this
Wainwright,
special
Rich
postseason
Hill.
edition of Inside the Show. For Game 4 of the
Pujols
Major League
retired
Baseball
and
World Series, the
finished with
Twins pitched well,
656
allowing
home
only 3
runs.
hits as they got a road win against Arizona, clinching the
So,
World Series championship. It has been
I
a
don't think I'm going to
storybook
give
season
Cueto
for them, and
another
they will look to repeat
season.
as champions next year.
Honestly, I probably shouldn't even give him another season. He had a 4.5 ERA. That's pretty tough. Pretty much all these people I'm probably not going to re-sign, so I'll just probably look to add on to the free agent market. I'm going to see if he'll take a small 1-year offer. We can give him 4 years. We'll see if he wants that. I'm not too worried about re-signing anyone else. I just hate how simulating doesn't use the relievers properly. I think he's the only one I'm going to try to re-sign though. So, let's see, it looks like we did re-sign him. So that's good. And then we're going to hold off on everyone else because we should be fine. Okay. So let's go into free agency and see what's available. Also have to offer arbitration to a lot of people. I think I'm just going to take a look at what free agents I could look to pick up. Honestly, Yelich is probably number 1 on my list. And probably end the episode there. Or no, I can go through free agency and go to next spring training. I mean, yeah, this is the year of the shortstop, so I can look to, honestly, I mean, definitely Yelich. I think Yelich, like, by far. I don't know how I compete with 10 years, 300 million. Offer him 8 years. Man, that's really hard to compete with. Apparently he likes that a little bit better. I'm also going to look to sign, I think, Lance Lynn here. See if I can get him for a couple of years. I'm sure he doesn't appreciate the smaller contract, but I think that's pretty reasonable. If I can get him, if not, I should probably look to get Starling Marte, because the outfielder situation isn't the best. I should also set my 40-man roster. That's the guy that I drafted. Who do I need to protect? Second baseman. And starting pitcher, Dylan File. Those are the only two I'm really worried about. Okay, and I still have plenty of room. Hopefully adding 2 more with Lance Lynn and Yelich. But let's see what happens here. Also, I don't even think there was a good third baseman out there. Yeah, that's tough. None of these guys are worth my time, so that's a little unfortunate. I don't think there's anyone that I would try to draft and move over to third base. Honestly, I could consider Miguel Rojas, but he's not like ridiculously better than Mike Franco, and I think I have him for 1 more year. Yeah, so I guess just hold off. See, this is the problem. Is like you have someone who's a decent overall and they have A potential, but like his hitting stats are just not there, and there's no way of developing them to be way better. But yeah, hopefully I grab Yelich. That would be absolutely huge. Which, I mean, I'm going to have Grichuk in center, which isn't the best, but let's see. I'm going to do it day by day to see if I actually get Yelich. Let's go. I got Yelich. That's huge. Yeah, I definitely had the money to do it. Freeman signed with him. Let's see if Lance Lynn has considered. Our offer is a little bit better than the Nationals. I really don't want to offer more than 2 years, so let's see what's my cash flow looking like though, because I could increase. Yeah, I have plenty of money to spend. I'll increase to like 33 million and make me a little bit more competitive. And then we will offer salary arbitration to all these people, because I know it's a horrible thing for all the players, but saved a ton of money and no feelings are hurt when it's a game. I know the Cardinals just got to go through all that crap with Jack Flaherty, and he did not seem very happy about the whole situation, which I don't blame him, because trying to peg someone as your future ace and future Cy Young Award winner and then offering him millions and millions less than what he's worth is not the best look. I really don't even want to. I guess I have to, because I can't offer anything lower. Okay, so there's that. I also have to. I hate going through and doing all this, but the CPU for some reason really messes up like re-signing people. I did not want to do that, but whatever. Actually, yeah, I do, because these guys have potential of being good. Why are we offering him so much money? Hello? Why does he want so much money? It's way easier once you get into the people that haven't been in the majors. 600K. Okay. There we go. I mean, he offered really good backup when I needed it, so I'll keep him. Oh man. So once we get through all these people, maybe I'll even just skip through all these, because who wants to watch someone renew 60 different contracts? But it's just something that I have to do because the CPU like doesn't re-sign them for absolutely no reason, and then you get screwed over and have like nobody on your roster. So I don't want to deal with that, so I'm gonna go through and do all these. Not even halfway there yet. This is quite fun. So I hope everyone like me is super excited for this year. I mean, just knowing that we have a full season of baseball, hopefully fans will eventually be able to go to games too. I know I'm definitely going to be at a Cardinals game if they allow it this year, because it's just always great to get out to Busch Stadium. Big fan of the stadium. Obviously, I can be a little biased since I'm a Cardinals fan, but I've been to pretty much every single NL Central stadium, and Busch is probably my favorite. I mean, Wrigley's really cool to go to, but it's special in a sense of it being old, but based on how like good it is, I don't know. I'm sure I would get flamed by a lot of people for saying something like that, but I mean, Wrigley's cool, especially getting to like experience being out in the bleacher seats with people. That can be a blast sometimes, but I mean, they have done a really good job of putting stuff around it, which, I mean, it's kind of the same idea as like with like Ballpark Village or whatever with around Busch Stadium, like just having a lot of I do not want to offer that guy that much money. With putting a bunch of people around the stadium and having a lot of cool stuff for people to do around this, like right around the stadium, is really cool. But I know also people are annoyed because they're like, well, that's also taking away from like the bar scene, especially around Wrigley. But I don't know. I enjoy Wrigley, but I definitely like Busch. I think it's a really cool stadium. Miller Park, which I think it's getting renamed. I really enjoy that too. I actually got to play when I was a kid. I got to play in the like super small stadium just outside of it and hit a home run there. But probably my first and only home run that I ever hit when I played in Little Leagues. But yeah, that was really cool too. And Pittsburgh is beautiful. That's probably a very close second because Pittsburgh is just really cool. There we go. We got through offering all those contracts. We're gonna sim a little bit more, and yep, there we go. We got Lance Lynn. So I'm just gonna sim through the off season. I'll take a look at the Rule 5 draft. Just to no, did I skip the Rule 5 draft? I guess I skipped the Rule 5 draft. I wasn't really paying attention. All the shortstops are going. Honestly, if I didn't have Really good middle infield, I would maybe consider this trade. Gets a ton of money off the books, but I'm not going to accept that now. There's a real fun draft. I knew I was losing it. Let's see. Is there anything good? There is not. Alright. It doesn't hurt to always look. It looks like I'm coming up to the 1 hour mark, so I'm just gonna skip through everything and get to spring training. Take a look at the squad. I had so many arbitration hearings. I'm gonna double check that I renewed all the contracts, and I did. And get into spring training. And look at that, we're first overall team now. We have really good pitching. Everything's good except defense. Which, I mean, I'm not going to complain. So, we have Yelich and Tatis, like, pretty ridiculous. Really solid lineup, so looking good. But, I mean, with simming it, I can't take them to the World Series, so kind of have to hope for the best. So, I've at least set them up for a chance to win. Someone retired. Honestly, I don't know who it was, but I still have 4 good scouts, so I'm not going to complain. So with that, I think I'm going to end this episode here and probably just keep on going through maybe a season every episode just to follow through and see how it goes. So thanks for joining me, and definitely having fun with this one as we're getting prepared for the baseball season. So everyone take care.